Have you ever wondered how Ireland, a small island on the edge of Europe, became one of the wealthiest nations in the world? It's a tale that's as fascinating as it is inspiring. It's the tale of the Celtic Tiger, a term coined to describe the economic boom that transformed Ireland from a predominantly agricultural society into a modern, high-tech economy. The story of the Celtic Tiger is one of resilience, vision, and a bit of luck. It's a testament to what can happen when a country invests in its people, opens its doors to the world, and seizes the opportunities presented by a changing global economic landscape. Let's start with the basics. The term Celtic Tiger was first used in the mid-90s, a nod to the Asian tigers, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, and Taiwan, whose economies had similarly roared to life. But what sparked this economic transformation in Ireland? Well, there were a few key factors at play. One was a significant investment in education. Recognizing the value of a well-educated workforce, the Irish government made a concerted effort to improve the country's education system, focusing particularly on science and technology. This investment paid off, producing a generation of highly skilled workers who could drive the country's economic growth. Another critical factor was foreign direct investment. Global companies attracted by Ireland's low corporate tax rates and its young, educated workforce set up shop in the country, bringing with them jobs, expertise, and economic growth. Lastly, Ireland's membership in the European Union played a significant role. It opened up markets, facilitated trade, and provided funding for infrastructure and development projects. These factors combined to create the perfect storm for economic growth, turning Ireland into the Celtic Tiger we know today. But this transformation didn't happen overnight. It was the result of decades of strategic planning, hard work, and a commitment to creating a better future for the people of Ireland. But to truly understand Ireland's economic miracle, we need to go back in time. At the dawn of the 20th century, Ireland was a primarily agrarian society. This was a time when the country was defined by its rolling green pastures, dotted with sheep and cows. The economy was heavily reliant on these agricultural industries, with the majority of the population making their living from the land. Despite the idyllic imagery, the reality was a far cry from this pastoral dream. Many lived in poverty, struggling to eke out a living from the harsh and often unyielding Irish soil. The primary export was people, with emigration rates soaring as individuals sought better opportunities abroad. The early 1900s also brought with it political unrest. The struggle for independence from Britain was reaching a boiling point, culminating in the Easter Rising of 1916 and the subsequent War of Independence. This period of turmoil left its mark on the economy with trade disruptions, destruction of infrastructure, and the loss of human capital. The newly independent Ireland had to grapple with these economic challenges, all while trying to establish its place on the world stage. Yet it was not all doom and gloom. Even in the face of these hardships, Ireland was slowly but surely laying the groundwork for future economic growth. The establishment of the Irish Free State in 1922 marked the beginning of a new era, one that would eventually see Ireland transform from a primarily agrarian society to a modern, industrialized nation. The country began to invest in education and infrastructure, recognizing the importance of these factors in economic development. Emphasis was placed on self-sufficiency, with measures taken to protect and promote domestic industries. While these steps were small and progress was slow, they marked the start of a long journey towards economic prosperity. The seeds of change, however, were already being sown. As we move forward in our story, we'll see how these early efforts set the stage for the dramatic transformation of Ireland's economy in the latter half of the 20th century. But for now, let's pause and reflect on this period of struggle and resilience, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Irish people. The mid-20th century saw Ireland gradually shifting towards industrialization. This period marked a significant turning point in the nation's economic history. Ireland, traditionally an agrarian society, began to transition towards a more industrialized economy. This shift wasn't merely a domestic endeavor, It was heavily influenced by the global phenomenon of industrialization and globalization. As nations worldwide were transforming their economies, Ireland too felt the ripple effects. The world was shrinking, economies were interconnecting, and Ireland was no exception. The transition from agriculture to industry wasn't a walk in the park. It was a challenging period marked by significant social and economic changes. The rural farming communities that once dominated the Irish landscape slowly gave way to burgeoning cities and industrial hubs. People moved from the countryside to urban areas in search of better opportunities, transforming the nation's socio-economic fabric. But what was the catalyst for this industrialization? The answer lies in the power of foreign direct investment, or FDI. Ireland started to attract a considerable amount of FDI, especially from the United States. These foreign companies brought with them not just capital, but also technology, skills, and new ideas. They set up manufacturing plants, creating jobs and injecting money into the Irish economy. The government played an instrumental role in this transition. It introduced policies to attract foreign companies, offering them incentives like tax breaks and a business-friendly environment. As a result, Ireland became an attractive destination for multinational corporations looking to set up their European operations. The influence of globalization was evident. Ireland was not just importing goods and services, it was importing economic transformation. As the world became more interconnected, so too did Ireland's economy. In the grand scheme of things, this transition was pivotal. It laid the foundation for the economic prosperity that was to come. It set the stage for Ireland to become the Celtic Tiger, one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. Ireland was slowly but surely laying the groundwork for an economic revolution. The journey was long and fraught with challenges, but the Emerald Isle was on the path to economic transformation, ready to roar like a tiger. One of the key factors that contributed to Ireland's economic growth was its investment in education. This investment wasn't just in the form of money. It was a commitment to change, a dedication to progress, and a belief in the transformative power of knowledge. From the mid-20th century, Ireland began to shift its educational focus, placing greater emphasis on science and technology. It was a strategic move. The world was changing, and Ireland wanted to be a part of that change. The Irish government recognized the potential of a highly educated workforce. They knew that knowledge was power, so they invested in their greatest resource, their people. Schools were modernized, curriculums updated, and universities expanded. They poured resources into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the so-called STEM fields. But why focus on these areas? Well, the answer is simple. These were the fields that were driving the world forward. They were creating the jobs of the future. And Ireland wanted in. They understood that to attract the giants of industry, the multinational corporations, they needed to offer something valuable. And what could be more valuable than a well-educated, skilled workforce? This focus on education began to pay dividends. Multinational corporations started to take notice. They saw a country that was willing to invest in its people, a country that valued education and progress. Companies like Intel, Microsoft, and Google set up operations in Ireland, attracted by the promise of a talented workforce. These companies brought with them jobs, wealth, and opportunity. They stimulated economic growth and helped transform Ireland from a largely agricultural economy to a modern, technologically advanced one. But it wasn't just about attracting big businesses. It was about creating a society where everyone had the opportunity to succeed, where everyone had access to quality education. It was about building a better future for Ireland and for its people. Investing in education was a game changer for Ireland's economy. It's a lesson for us all. Education is not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about empowering people, driving innovation, and fostering economic growth. It's about creating a better, brighter future. Ireland's membership in the European Union played a pivotal role in its economic transformation. The EU, with its vast market, presented a golden opportunity for this small island nation. Suddenly, Ireland was not just trading with its close neighbors, but had access to a market of hundreds of millions of consumers. This opened up a whole new world of possibilities for Irish businesses, and the economy began to flourish. But access to the large market was only one piece of the puzzle. Ireland also benefited from structural funds provided by the EU. These funds were designated for improving infrastructure and promoting economic development, and Ireland put them to good use. Roads were built, schools were upgraded, and investments were made in technology and innovation. These improvements made Ireland an attractive place for foreign companies to set up shop, further boosting the economy. EU membership also helped to create a more open economy in Ireland. Prior to joining the EU, Ireland had a protectionist economic policy, with high tariffs and restrictions on imports. But as part of the EU, Ireland was required to adopt free trade policies. This led to increased competition, which in turn spurred innovation and growth. The EU also played a key role in shaping Ireland's economic policies. As a member, Ireland was required to adhere to the EU's economic guidelines, which encouraged fiscal responsibility and economic stability. This helped to keep the Irish economy on track, even during times of global economic uncertainty. And let's not forget the impact of EU membership on Ireland's reputation. Being part of this prestigious group of nations gave Ireland a certain cachet. It signified that Ireland was a player on the world stage, and this helped to attract foreign investment. In short, EU membership provided Ireland with the tools and opportunities it needed to transform its economy. It opened doors, broke down barriers, and set Ireland on a path to prosperity. Being part of the EU was like a turbo boost for Ireland's economy. By the late 20th century, all these factors combined to create the Celtic Tiger, a phrase coined to encapsulate Ireland's remarkable economic metamorphosis. This was a period of rapid economic growth, when the Emerald Isle roared like a tiger on the global stage. Imagine a time when Ireland, once known for its emigration, became the land of opportunity, a beacon that drew people from all over the world to its shores. This was the Celtic Tiger era. Multinational corporations, attracted by the well-educated workforce and favorable tax laws, set up shop in Ireland. Tech giants like Apple, Google, and Facebook built their European headquarters in Dublin, injecting jobs and money into the economy. The influx of these corporations, coupled with a boom in construction and real estate, led to an unprecedented rise in living standards. The average Irish household income soared. People were buying homes, cars, and luxuries at an unprecedented rate. The streets of Dublin were bustling with new shops, restaurants, and businesses. It was a time of prosperity and optimism. Ireland was no longer the poor cousin of Europe. The country was now one of the most affluent in the region. It was a dramatic transformation, one that few could have predicted just a few decades prior. The Emerald Isle had become the land of plenty. It wasn't just the metropolitan areas that were thriving. Rural Ireland, too, was reaping the benefits of this economic surge. Infrastructure improved, jobs were created, and small towns began to flourish. The Celtic Tiger was not just a Dublin phenomenon, it was a national metamorphosis. But with great prosperity comes great responsibility. The Celtic Tiger era also brought with it challenges, including a widening income gap and concerns of an overheated economy. Nevertheless, the period remains a testament to Ireland's resilience and ability to reinvent itself. Within a few decades, Ireland had transformed from one of the poorest nations in Europe to one of the richest. A fascinating tale of transformation, the Celtic Tiger era forever changed the face of Ireland, propelling it onto the world stage as an economic powerhouse. But the Celtic Tiger was not without its challenges. Indeed, the roar of the Celtic Tiger was silenced in 2008, when the global financial crisis swept through Ireland's shores. The Irish banking system, once the bedrock of the country's economic growth, was on the brink of collapse. The government's decision to guarantee all bank liabilities led to an unprecedented economic downturn. The Emerald Isle's economy shrank by a staggering 10% in 2009 alone, and unemployment soared to 15%. The crisis was not just economic, it was social, financial, and profoundly personal. It was a time of hardship for many Irish citizens, with austerity measures hitting the most vulnerable the hardest. The government implemented sweeping cuts in public spending, wage reductions and tax increases, and the country was placed under the supervision of the International Monetary Fund and the European Union. This was a bitter pill for the Irish to swallow, but swallow it they did. And this resilience, this tenacity, is a defining characteristic of the Irish spirit. But let's not forget, every cloud has a silver lining. The crisis also served as a wake-up call, prompting a re-evaluation of the country's economic policies. The focus shifted towards sustainable growth, financial stability, and more importantly, the welfare of its people. The recovery, slow and steady, began in earnest around 2014. Ireland was the first of the crisis-hit Eurozone countries to exit the bailout program. The economy has rebounded, growing at one of the fastest rates in the European Union. Unemployment rates have fallen, and public finances have improved. The Celtic Tiger may have been tamed, but it has not been defeated. The challenges of the past have only made it more resilient, more determined. The Irish economy, once again, is on the rise, fueled by innovation, education, and a spirit of enterprise. Despite the ups and downs, Ireland's economic journey is a testament to the power of strategic planning and investment. And it's a journey that continues, with lessons learned from the past lighting the way forward. So, what does the future hold for Ireland's economy? As we venture into the uncharted territory of the future, there's a promising blend of optimism and challenge for the Emerald Isle. The current trends in Ireland's economy are a testament to its resilience and adaptability. Today, Ireland stands as one of the world's fastest-growing economies, boasting a vibrant mix of sectors from technology and pharmaceuticals to renewable energy and digital services. However, every silver lining has a cloud. Ireland's dependence on foreign direct investment, especially from the United States, presents a double-edged sword. While it has propelled the economy to new heights, it also exposes Ireland to global economic shifts and policies. The fallout from Brexit and potential changes in the global corporate tax structure are significant challenges that the Irish economy will need to navigate. Yet, Ireland has always been a land of opportunity, and the future is no exception. The country's strong emphasis on education and digital skills has created a dynamic workforce. This, coupled with the government's commitment to fostering innovation, positions Ireland to be a leading player in the future digital economy. Moreover, Ireland's commitment to renewable energy and sustainability presents another unique opportunity. The country's vast wind and wave resources could transform it into a renewable energy powerhouse, creating jobs and driving economic growth. Furthermore, Ireland's strategic location as the only English-speaking country in the Eurozone post-Brexit offers a unique advantage. It could become a preferred destination for companies looking to establish a European base, further fueling economic growth. But as we look to the future, it's essential to remember that economic growth should not come at the expense of social cohesion or the environment. As Ireland strides forward, it must ensure that the benefits of economic prosperity are shared equitably, and that its beautiful landscapes are preserved for future generations. Only time will tell if Ireland can continue its remarkable economic journey. But given its track record of resilience, innovation, and adaptability, there's every reason to believe that Ireland's economy will continue to thrive, overcoming challenges and seizing opportunities in its stride. So, how exactly did Ireland get rich? In the past 20 minutes, we've journeyed through the Emerald Isle's economic transformation, a remarkable tale that has taken us from the early 20th century to the present day. We began with the Celtic Tiger, a period of rapid economic growth that catapulted Ireland into the ranks of the world's wealthiest nations. A time when the roar of the tiger was heard across the globe, symbolizing an era of prosperity and opportunity for the Irish people. We then looked back at early 20th century Ireland, a country primarily dependent on agriculture. It was a simple time, but one that laid the groundwork for the seismic changes that were to come. As we moved forward, we discussed the pivotal role of industrialization and globalization. We saw how Ireland shifted from an agrarian society to one dominated by industry and services, a transformation that brought new wealth, but also new challenges. Education, we learned, played a crucial role in Ireland's economic ascent. Investment in human capital, from primary schools to universities, equipped the Irish workforce with the skills needed to compete in a globalized world. Then we turned our attention to the European Union. Ireland's membership in the EU opened up new markets, attracted foreign investment, and provided funds for infrastructure development, all of which fueled the country's economic growth. The emergence of the Celtic Tiger was our next stop, a time of unprecedented prosperity that saw Ireland become one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. We then navigated the aftermath of the Celtic Tiger, exploring how Ireland dealt with the challenges left in its wake and how it continues to adapt and evolve. Finally, we speculated on the future of Ireland's economy, pondering the potential pathways it might take in the years to come. If you've enjoyed this video about Ireland's economic growth, why not give this video a thumbs up? Your likes are the compass that guides us in creating content that you love. And if you're new here and you found value in this video, consider joining the family. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to ensure you never miss out on a new economic journey.